The tragic events of last week, the disappearance and death of Sarah Everard and the outpouring of women's own stories about harassment have been a reminder of men's violence against women and the fear that women too often face when they're going about their daily lives. And that is an issue not just in London or elsewhere in the UK, but right here in Scotland. Statistics out today show that while 89% of men report feeling safe walking alone in their own local areas after dark, for women it is only 65%. And this has decreased since before the pandemic. I'm sure the Cabinet Secretary would agree this is unacceptable and we need to act now. Can I therefore ask, what has the Government done to improve the safety of women on Scotland's streets? And what further prevention work will it do now to tackle the serious issue of men's violence towards women ahead of the misogynistic harassment group reporting?
Cabinet Secretary.
Can I thank Neil Bibby for his question? Can I agree with the substantial point that he makes? He references the Scottish Crime and Justice Survey. That does suggest that the majority of women feel safe in their communities, but he's absolutely right. There is a disparity between the numbers of men who feel safe versus the number of women who feel safe, and that cannot be right. We'll continue to fund important organisations like Gender Scotland, like Zero Tolerance Scotland, where we can provide them with funding, and support organisations like White Ribbon Scotland, who challenge men to stand up against male violence towards women. I think ultimately we have to listen to women, and I reference the fact that the Cabinet Secretary for Social Security and Older People is meeting with the organisers of Reclaim the Streets. We'll also take the action necessary where we can through legislation to protect women. Just as the member is aware, just tomorrow, in fact, we will be debating in this Parliament stage 3 of the Domestic Abuse Protection Order Bill, Protection Bill. That will allow police and courts to issue a suspected perpetrator of domestic abuse with a protection notice or indeed a protection order. That will mean that the victim of domestic abuse, in 80% of cases, of course, that is a woman, that the domestic abuse victim will not have to flee their home simply for their own safety. So where we can take legislative action ahead of the misogynistic misogyny and the criminal law working group, then we will take that action. Where we can work with third sector partners, we will do that. And where the opposition and others want to work cross-party, then this government will absolutely make themselves available to be part of that solution.